What's going on, VC? Joachim here. I hope everybody's doing well. Cheers to you. So today I'm going to share with you my top 50 UK punk albums from the 80s. Things to consider in this list, of course, is that this is to my personal taste. I'm sharing full-length albums, no singles, no splits, no compilations, no recordings that were shelved for decades and just saw the light of day within the last 20 years. Also, I am not sharing any records from bands that made my top 50 UK punk albums from the 70s. Many of those bands, they would have made this list if I decided to include them. But every time I do a video, my primary thought is to share as much as I can when it comes to different bands, different sounds within the punk world, hoping that someone young or new into punk will find this interesting and use this as an outlet to expand their own, to pave their own path through this insanity that is the love for punk rock music. So, as I put myself to this task, I realized that there was way too many records. So I had to leave a lot of records that I'm sure many of you is gonna say, whoa, I don't see Amebix in that list, One Way System, many more. It's because I decided to do a diverse list, including Oi, EKD2, anarcho-punk, a little bit of all those subgenres that were like very prolific during the 80s. So this is the best that I came up with. So I hope I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Let me know what you think. One other thing that I want to share with you guys is that I had to revisit some of these records that I haven't listened in a long time, and I just came to the conclusion, which pretty much anyone that is not as oblivious as I sometimes tend to be, punk used to be so damn offensive. So damn offensive. There's records here that I even consider not to share, because those records are records if you were born past 85, you will not make friends if you share these records with anyone, because as you all know, society became so oversensitive. We no longer have the ability to laugh of ourselves. Everybody takes everything so personally. And the 80s, as some historians said, even some bands claim that punk was dead. The 80s was actually the most prolific era for punk rock worldwide. And during that period, things became faster, louder, aggressive. It was not for the faint of heart. But it was about the state of things. It was about standing for what you believed. It was about showing the finger to the man. It was about trying to bring self-awareness how constantly the people get ripped off by the ones in power. And I just realized that as much well-informed that we might think we are in 2024, as educated that we might think we are, a lot of us come from generations that our parents work our asses off to send us to college, so we don't have to endure some sort of the struggles that they did. Well, guess what? We became the censors. Yes, that's my conclusion. Is that I even, for a brief second, I even had the scary thought of believing that punk is actually dead. But I'm not gonna go down there. But yes, the people, we the people, became the censorship. Think about that. Anyways, 50 punk records, UK punk records from the 80s that are bangers. I'm gonna start with absolutely, this is obnoxious, filthy punk. Peter and Testy Babies, loud blaring punk rock LP. This is from 80. Let me look at my notes. 1985 on Airy Pie Records. Sonically, fantastic. For like rock and roll, for like punk, it's fantastic. The lyrics, man, it's just, yeah. A lot of cringe in here, but this is a great record nevertheless. I'm gonna wrap this quick as well, because I've been having problems with storage with the phone. 49, I gave it to Sugar O'Neill's. Sugar O'Neill's, Gutter Snipes. Sugar O'Neill he played briefly with the Cox Power, left the band, they started Gutter Snipes, the Poor Dress Up. This is from 1989 on Razor Records. It's pretty good. Blend of punk, power pop. It's a pretty, it's a make you feel good record. Check it out. Check songs such as Addicted to Love, Forgotten Man, The Hate Game, Guns N' Rockets. Solid. Another record from 89 on Link Records. This is a London band, Guitar Gangsters, Prohibition. This is like punk rock and rollish. The sound, it does sound like an 80s produced album, but it's fantastic, and I got to see them maybe 26 years ago, and they were one of the best live bands at that time. I don't know what they're up to, but this is a great record. Check songs such as Nothing to Shout About, Turn the Tables, That's When the Razor Cuts, Everybody Wants to Be My Friend, and It's So Sad. Banger right here. Number 47, I gave it to the Gym Slips, 1983 on Abstract Records. This comes out with a single with the song Silly Egg, which is pretty cool. All-female band. Punk, glamish, with a oi kind of feel to it. But this is fantastic. Check songs such as Drink Problem, Facelift, Thinking of You, Dear Marge, Wandering Stars, Robot Man. This is banger, Rocking with the Rainies. 1983 on No Future Records. No Future Records, well known label with this association to the UK 82 sound. Well, they got some skin of rock and roll too as well. Red Alert, We Got the Power. This is from 1983. This record is often referred as a record that it does depict the struggle and strife of the working class from northeastern England, I believe. Sonically, it's fantastic. The vocals are more melodic than oi bands tend to have back then. It's Me Boys is a great sing-along song, even though it's not the best song of the record, and it's definitely not the song that reflects what's going on in this record. This is a banger. Check it out. Great lyrics, great band. Red Alert. Another band, 1985 Oi Records. This is actually a reissue, I believe, on Daily something. From Spain, I believe. Section 5, We Won't Change. I have all their records, and it's a band that I like, even though I admit that it's not a great band. Their music approach is very basic. It's a simple band. There's not catchy hooks. There's nothing to impress anyone. It's just like pretty stripped down. punk rock, and as they like to say, street rock and roll, because he has that oi element to it. But this record, I absolutely love this record because he's played with passion. This record, they play slow, sloppish, but the lyrics and the passion is fantastic. Check songs such as Victim of Poverty, Head Case, Running Away, I Want More, and We Won't Change, Section 5. 44, I gave it to a record that came out on Fallout Records in 1983. This is The Enemy, Gateway to Hell. Enemy, even though it's a band that I love, otherwise I wouldn't be showing this record. For someone that are just getting into punk or hearing about UK82, what that sound is all about, this is a record that might not blow you away, might come across a little bit monotonous. But he has a darker tone to it, but it's a record that if you give it time to grow on you, he will definitely grow on you, and you will grow to be a big fan of this record. The Enemy, Gateway to Hell. You can check songs such as Last Rites, 50,000 Dead, Prisoner of War, Society's Fools, Murder on the Streets. Great record. I could not leave Subhumans out of this list. This came out on 1982 on Spider Leg Records. The day the country died. It's not their best recording. It's not the best work, but it is extremely influential. And that's when their sound got defined. And this cover artwork is iconic. This is a band that I love. It's a band that stands against and for what I do as well. Amazing, fantastic. The Subhumans. I need to hear more about this. Not familiar with this record in particular. Just check the song Till the Pigs Come Around. 41, Razor Records from 1983. I gave it to another band with strong political views, Newtown Neurotics, self-proclaimed anti-fascist band. It's a great record. This is just more like in that 77 punk style of sound. Little some folk, preachy elements here, but this is a banger. They do, their rendition of Members' Solitary Confinement is in here as their own version, which is Living in Unemployment. But check songs such as Get Up and Fight, and you will understand immediately what that Neurotics are all about. Now the band, as you can tell, the 80s, they were prolific into having bands that wanted to stand for something that would piss the mainstream off, and the status quo off, and the establishment indeed. Anyways, Oppressed, wailing from Cardiff. This is originally a self-release from 1984. This is Captain Oirishi, I have no idea, from maybe late 90s, something like that. Not the most virtuoso musicians, but like passion. Yeah, it's all here. And I will recommend anyone that even is not into punk to listen to the songs Run From You, Don't Look Back, and Magistrate. And let me know how you feel about this. Banger in my book. Classic from 1984 on Rot Records, Resistance 77, Thoroughbred Man, UK82, however, is catchier. The vocal delivery is more melodic, nor as growly as a lot of UK82 bands were. Banger. Check songs such as Chelsea Girl, Pass Me the Bottle, Against All Odds. Yeah, many anthems in here. Great record. 1984 on Fleet Knife, Clockwork Heroes, Major Accident. Today I just chose to show this one, A Clockwork Legion, which is their second album. Is not as straightforward punk. Pissed Off as their first album is more polished. They work a little bit more with poppy sounds, some samples, some seriously dark, macabre lyrics in here. This is a banger, and all you need to listen to this record to know this is a banger is the song "Fight to Win" or "Respectable." Yeah. 1984 on Clay Records. This is not my favorite recording by them, but it's by far my favorite LP by them. This is English Dogs, Invasion of the Porky Man. You know, that English Dogs, Broken Bones, Discharge influence, you know, Brotherhood. Many of you I know are familiar with it. You know, I prefer their first 12 mini LPs, EPs, or 12 EPs. But Invasion of the Porky Man is nevertheless a great record. English Dogs, they do deliver like classic UK82 this sound here. Check songs such as The Follow Max and Your Country. Banger. Another band that is not PC at all. You're not gonna make many friends these days. Listen to this record, but this is brilliant. If you grew in a generation that was okay with with sarcasm, with being dumb and silly, and genuinely having no bad intent, no intent whatsoever to hurt anybody's feelings. It was just the way things were back then, and they were about having a good laugh, playing rock and roll, drinks tons of beer, talking about the lads, the Mac lads, beer, sex, and chips and gravy. And just go check it out. Let me know what you think. Love this shit. Could Not Live, Exploited out of the list. 1982 on Secret Records. Today I'm showing Leaders of Tomorrow. My favorite album by them is actually Punk's Not Dead, still till this day. But Leaders of Tomorrow definitely deserves to be highlighted. Banger. My favorite tune, this record, probably Daily News and Sid Vicious Was Innocent. This is Reach You on Dojo Records, somewhere in the 90s as well. A record on Riot City Records from 1983 that is classic UK82 is this one, is the Varukers Bloodsuckers. Protest to Survive is one of those tracks that is almost in every single compilation that captures the 80s UK punk scene. But my favorite song of this from this record is a song that sometimes just gets forgotten. It's my favorite. It's Nowhere to Go. It's absolutely classic, essential. Varukers, Bloodsuckers. You guys know that I love Oi, and I do love, and I'm okay with non-PC lyrics, and a band that I think they were brilliant, and they made it 33 in my list. It's the Vicious Rumors, Anytime Day or Night on Oi Records. It's just like fun, punk rock. Yeah, it's punk rock, funny punk rock, not PC these days. But nevertheless, just listen to the song. This is your life, and you'll get that punk teenager inside of you, fist pumping inside. Yep. Anyways, 32, Riot City Records, another classic, from 1982, The Ejected, Touch of Class. This is also a 90s reissue on Captain Oi, which was by Bread and Butter back then. Yeah, just absolutely classic. Songs such as Young Tribes of England, well, Have You Got 10p, East End Kids, I'm Gonna Get a Gun. Yeah, this is a banger right here. You'll never get a band that will pull off such a cool cover. Another classic here, 1982 on Secret Records, Crown Gen, Chronic Generation. Man, this is a great record. It's like, it's one of those records that you listen to it so many times when you were a kid that you kind of put it on shelves and you kind of forget about it. But, you know, this is fantastic. This was one of the records that I revisit, and it's just pure punk rock. Beautiful punk rock. The cover of Living Next Door to Alice is just phenomenal. You know, Lies, Jet Boy, Jet Girl, Hounds of the Night, LSD, You Make Me Spew. You'll Never Change Me, Reality, classic, as you all know. Another classic, as you all know, from 1982 on Clay Records, number 30 in my list is GBH, City Attacked by Rats. And yeah, Time Bomb, Maniac, City Baby Attacked by Rats, Boston Babies. This is classic. I like City Babies Revenge a lot as well. I didn't show their first mini LP because it's a mini LP, otherwise I would. Yeah, classic right here. Another classic, number 29 on Noise Records from 1983 is the Blood, False Justice for a Devious Public. Not one of the best, not also just one of the best cover art ever, but this is an amazing record. However, I mentioned this before in other videos. You cannot describe this shit. There's no way to describe that. This is one of those bands that are unique. Their sound is unique. It's a love it or hate it almost kind of deal, but for me it's a love kind of deal. The Blood. Another, this is on Dram Records from 1981. This is Plodness Abounds debut. I love this band. I have a special relation with this band. This is like, you know, it's a band referred as the godfathers of pathetic punk, which it stands exactly for that, for being pathetic, use of humor, but smart, because it's not just their lyrics is not just about being offensive, just being obnoxious. It's about using, like, at times good humor, at times bad humor, but an intelligent way to you know, to poke you on the right place, to create some sort of awareness. This is a great record. And here's the song, Two Little Boys. Yeah, two little boys playing with their two little toys. Yeah, anyways, bangers, Plodness Abounds. You don't need to hear much more about that. So 26, I gave it to Special Duties, talking about another great cover. Look at that cover with all those classic singles in there. Yeah, this is one of the best UK 82 albums, hands down. This came out on Rondelet Records in 1982. I just love this, absolutely love this record. And dude, they covered The Boys first time. Banger. The band that is not for everybody, but could not be out of this list, from 1983 on Volume Records. Toy Dolls debut. Did that Groove Baby. Yeah, this is a fantastic record. I know Toy Dolls is not for anyone, but nobody has the balls to deny how phenomenal, unique this band is. And it's the best band I ever seen live. Every time I saw them was like, yeah, they're the best. Yeah, if you're not familiar with these, just check the songs such as Spiders in the Dressing Room. That's hilarious. That's great. And Stay Mellow. '24. Another record from Spiderleg Records, 1984. Band that I went to LA last weekend to see a reincarnation of the band, and it was such a disappointment, but fuck it. But it's still one of my favorite records from this time. Narco-punk, anti-sect, In Darkness There Is No Choice. Very political, social, and social consciousness in this, but it sounds pretty atmospheric, dark, very dark at times. Yeah, a banger, a classic. I'm pretty sure I've showed this record many times here. The band that I ended up seeing last week, and he was not disappointed. Anyways, it was not. It was another incarnation because Stig is dead. But they did pretty well, and was stoked about it. Was Icons of Field from Wales. Onward Christian Soldiers. This came out in 1984 on Mortar Hate Records. Fantastic record. This is a classic, one of my favorite anarcho-punk albums. Made it to this list. Number 23. 22nd, a record that I could not leave it out. We gotta show this over and over again. Anti-Our Leg, you know, rockers, you know, maybe douchebag kind of looking people. No, this is a banger. This is a rocker. If you don't like Anti-Our Leg, we are the League. That's because you don't like rock and roll. Classic. Classic UK 82 album. Also showed here many times. 1982 on Riot City Records. Abrasive Wheels. This is start to finish. Perfection UK 80s. UK 82 punk. When the punks go marching in. Banger. One of my favorites, well, I put my favorites in here. I also love this record. This came out on Borg Records on, I believe, 1985. Yeah, it looks like 1985. The Instigators. Nobody listens anymore. Man, I absolutely love this band. Absolutely love this band. Even their album Phoenix, which is one that's those albums that so cheap to find. Every time I go back in time to listen to Instigators, I get blown away. He's a narco punk, but he's not crass influenced sound. This is very almost like early stages of Bad Religion sound, that melody, that fast speed. Absolutely love this. It's a banger. Yeah, one of my all-time favorite UK punk hardcore with anarcho peace punk ethos records right here. When it comes to hardcore, number 19 from Children of the Revolution, 1985. The Stupids. I just love this record, man. Yeah, I just cannot tell you how much I love this record. Fantastic lyrics, funny, some social consciousness in this record as well. The lead singer is a drummer. That alone will blow your mind away how fast this guy can play and stay, you know, in place while singing. Brilliant, stupid. Brilliant record. 18, Infra Riot, 1982 on Secret Records. This is just a banger. I think that anyone that likes punk rock, this is a must-have in their collection. Emergency, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, 5-minute fashion. It's Done, I Died, Drug Squad, Still Out of Order. What a song. Yeah. Karaoke, Kids, Infra Riot. This is a banger. Every song, great songs. Great songs. 1982 on Clay Records. Could not leave Discharge out, even though I like their early singles better than I do this. But that's the foundation for D-Beat. Classic Discharge, Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing. Should be a given for everyone. From Glasgow, 1984 on Essential Records. This is perfection when it comes to that UK 82 sound, which is pretty much like the origin of what it's known as street punk. Street punk, I think, is purely a creation of the 90s, the fusion of hardcore punk and oi, early hardcore punk and oi, and rock and roll. This is The Last Rites. This is a reaction. This is masterpiece right here. If you like that kind of stuff, yeah, The Downfall of Dictators. This is a reaction. I Want to Be an Anarchist, All Walls Have Ears, In Life Crazy. This is just a banger, classic. Talking about a banger that you're gonna be surprised to be higher on the list than Discharge, but you know, as I mentioned before, this is for my personal taste, is Broken Bones, Them Bones on Fallout Records from 1984. This is absolutely raging UK 82 tapping into speed metal. Really, absolutely love this record. Classic. Broken Bones, Them Bones. Wealth Rules, Who's to Blame, Iron Maiden. Yeah, and then Anarcho Sound in here as well. Amazing record here. 89 on Link Records. The Crack, in search of the Crack. This is just like pop rock, street punk that appeals to punks and skins and rockers. It's just like a catchy anthem, one after the other. Classic right here. You Keep Me Running, Don't Just Sit Here, Don't You Ever Let Me Down, I'll Be There is probably my favorite songs. Banger. Essential. 13, 1989 on Oi Records. This is a reissue on Knockout Records sometime from the 90s. This is fantastic. London anti-fascist band. This is pure punk. This is just punk. The Blaggers, On Your Toes. This is fantastic. This is a beauty of a record in my book. You gotta listen to everything. Their version of Blitzkrieg Bop, which they call Skateboard Bop. It's hilarious. Blaggers made it 13 in my list. 12, Exception to the Rule. I didn't want to show the good, the bad, and the Four Skins. I had to show their best recording, but I could not leave Four Skins out of the list. And on 1984 on Syndicate Records, from Chaos to 1984 came out. This is one of my favorite live records of all time. Yes, all the Four Skins classics is well recorded. It's well recorded, and it does capture the audience. This is like traveling back in time. It's a banger. Now 11, 1981 on Dweed Records. This is The Addict, Songs of Praise. It's my favorite album by them. Who doesn't love The Addicts? But this record, man, Just Like Me, Telepathic People, Mary Whitehouse, Distortion, England, Get Addicted, Viva La Revolution, Calling in the background, Dynasty, Peculiar Music, Numbered, Sensitive, and Songs of Praise. This is classic after classic. This is some limited edition of 500 copies from 2008. Fantastic, classic, essential. Top 10. You're gonna see a lot of records I've shared here previously, so I'm not gonna have to talk much. 1983 Rockorama, Skeptics, So the Youth. You know how much I love this record if you've been watching my channel. It's like deconstructive, destructive, chaotic, but it's one of those bands that it sounds like everything's gonna fall apart, but they still manage to keep it tight and deliver like a ferocious UK82 sound. I just love this. Too much. Check songs such as Dead and Destruction, So the Youth, Stop It While You Can, Routine Machine, and The Cause. Yeah, classic here. Number 9, gonna give it to East End Heroes, Cognitive Rejects. I'm gonna give it to the volume 2 of the greatest hits. Volume 1 is amazing, but you know, I listen to this one more. You know, it's like it's kind of less punk, more oi, which is just punk. You know, but yeah, this is a classic. Oi oi oi, Hate of the City, Sitting in a Cell, We Can Do Anything, banger right here. And this came out on, this is EMI 1980. Yeah, classic. Not a live album, but this is actually their debut album. Number 8 on my list on Pax Records, 1983, The Mau Mau's. This is absolutely phenomenal. The drumming in this record is just like insanity. It will blow you away. I don't know. There's no track list, as you can see. Let's see. Well, listen to Facts of War, The Oath, Clampdown, Why Do We Suffer? Yeah, this is, you know, I've shared this multiple times, I believe. It's one of my all-time favorite albums. It's just not higher on the list. For instance, on number 7, I gave it to Blitz, Voice of a Generation. On No Future Records, because of this historical importance, how well known it is worldwide, and when you do some rank, you're trying to do some tops and rankings and shit like that, you have to consider their historical importance. But anyways, this is a classic, another classic. We Are the Boys, Time Bomb, Voice of a Generation, I Don't Need You, Bleed, Propaganda, Scream, classic, Blitz, one of the most well-known, one of the most important UK 82 punk bands. 6, 1983 on Corpus Christi, another absolute classic. This is Rudimentary Peni. Well, I'm just gonna leave you with this comment. This record is a record that you put together someone battle with schizophrenia and someone battling with cancer, and they love punk rock, and they care for the people, and they have a clear view how the world could be a better place, even though it is a very dark place. That's what you get. Classic. 1983, No Future Records from Wales. 5, Partisans, man. The Partisans debut. I'm not gonna say nothing about this record, because if you haven't listened to this record, I'm gonna make you listen to this shit. Classic. This is punk. Perfection. 1983, Corpus Christi. My favorite anarcho-punk album of all time is Omega Tribe, No Love Lost. My favorite anarcho-punk album of all time. Go check it out. I'm not gonna say much about this, so you can be intrigued. If you're not familiar, then go check it out. Number 3, 1982 on Cyclops Records. This record could have came out in 77. It's a banger. It's a record that opens with a House of the Rising Sun, a cover. But this is UK punk at its finest hour, The Straps. This record, they have a lot of singles. Not a lot, quite a few singles, but this record is what you want to hear. The Straps debut, banger. Number 3. What did I do here? I think I skipped. No, that's number 4. So I've been maxing. Number 3 is Business, Suburban Rebels, from 83 on Secret Records. Yeah, talked about this before. A lot of people associate Business to the skinhead subculture, oi, stuff like that. Now this is pure punk. Pure punk with social, political consciousness. Banger. Number 2, my favorite UK 82 punk album. This came out on Beat the System, 1983. And this is Uproar. And the Lord said, let there be. This is, yeah, another one you gotta listen to. But if you don't feel like listening to this fully, no, you have to. Well, listen to Stay Free. Number 2. And number 1 is Cocksparrow. So you would think on Razor Records, Shock Troops, it's a classic. There's not even a greatest hits or best of from any band better than this. But my favorite record by them, which is a record that I listen to the most, is Alive and Loud, a series on Link Records from 1987. This is perfect right here. Cocksparrow, number 1. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. I'll be back soon. Probably gonna jump out of the rabbit hole and stay away from top 50s for a minute. Thank you, Vinyl Richie, for tagging along with this. This was fun. And go check out also Tommy the Vinyl Knot top 50 on Finnish punk that he just dropped today. Pretty rad. You guys take care. Have a great week. Cheers.